2, 1.
Hey, everyone!
Welcome back to our podcast. We're on the second episode about the Grace year. So currently, we're still on schedule. We're all around page 200, I would say. So that's more than halfway through the book. So we're just going to talk about what we're learning about the characters and the themes and what's really happening so far. So who wants to start?
So I'll just go ahead and give a quick summary about what's going on right now in the book. Basically, I think every single girl in the camp is kind of just like evading tyranny because she's being rebellious and she doesn't want to conform to what all of them believe because she's a little more like on the iffy side, like if she thinks it's true or not. And they're all kind of bullying her, like taking things away from her, like sabotaging her, and just being like power tripping over her in a way.
Another thing that I also want to add on to that is that I also think that like they're part of the reason why they're sabotaging, which is I feel like it's part of like the development that's going on inside of the story, is that they're sabotaging her because of the fact that tyranny is like more, she's trying to like create almost a sense of like sisterhood, like she's trying to unite everybody and like make everybody realize that it's like us against the circumstance that we're in, not us against each other. And so I think that that's very important as far as like showcasing how how being divided, especially when you guys should have one common goal, how being divided can cause you to, isolate people or like alienate people out of and become very like cliquey and just very
because I feel like that was good. But because I feel like when it's like that kind of arrangement, then girls become very like selfish and they don't really want to
be self-serving.
Yeah, self-serving. Like they don't want to become friends with other girls because they're thinking about in their own mind like, hey, I'm like about to get married, like all this kinds of stuff. So they don't really think about like other girls in that moment.
And I feel like they don't really have a sense of like, they don't know what their reality is. They've been so like
brainwashed,
exactly. So the fact that they think that she's kind of like tyranny is like almost against them,
or the one causing the division,
or the one who has this magic, even though she's just trying to help them out, really shows how brainwashed they are. So I feel like that really shows the theme of like deception or like not knowing
or manipulation,
not knowing what reality is.
I think that speaks to her character because she's been like the only one that's constantly been like, we need evidence, like is it just like all in our head, but like we just need evidence to actually prove that the magic is real, while like all the other characters have like kind of just listened to Kirsten.
And like on top of like listening to Kirsten, I feel like she has the most power, and so everyone's been conforming to her. So I think power is also a very big theme because all the other girls are like almost like powerless, like they fully like are under her and they will do anything. They feel like she's controlling all of them and they will follow her lead like blindly.
And I think another like theme that's like proposed or presented in this book, especially like where we're at right now, is like the importance of like when you're subjected to like, I don't want to say like difficult like challenges, whenever you're subjected to those, or like whenever somebody's like, whenever you're being told something or somebody's giving you information, it's like your job to like go out and like seek the truth and like to inquire about, okay, I'm being told this, but like I have to like use abstract thinking and be like, okay, like is this really what the truth is? Like is there verity to what this person is saying?
I think it's also really sad about Gertrude. They call her Dirty Gertie. And like because she was kind of like tired of like the bullying and just Kirsten just being like horrible to her, she just conformed because she didn't want to deal with that anymore. Even though I feel like she didn't really believe herself that the magic was real.
And I think that Gertrude is like almost like representative of like how we tend to like avoid situations, or how we tend to like I don't want to say like self-invert, but like for lack of a better word, I guess self-invert, like we retreat into ourselves whenever we don't want to face like the difficulties that are around us just because it gets too overwhelming or it gets too difficult. And I feel like tyranny is like the opposite, like rather than like going within herself, she's just more like out, not like aggressive about it, because I feel like that's more Kirsten, but she's more externally like expressing herself.
I will say though, I will say I'm a little concerned for tyranny right now, because like as we're reading, she's also still like she's getting skeptical right now. She's having like doubt in herself, like, oh, like is this really real, or do I actually have magic? Like
does everybody else here have magic?
Because also with like the poachers like looking at her, and then like they're like constantly almost out for her. So she's been like a little concerned. So I'm wondering where that's gonna go.
It's been comforting because there is one poacher, which I think she thinks is Hans. That's
Yeah.
been like helping her out a little bit and not killing her when they do meet up. So I'm trying to see where that goes. Cause
Yeah, I totally agree. So I think they're hopefully Gertrude locks in.
I
She
know.
had some senses in her, so she'll
Defend herself.
defend herself. Hopefully
And
they're gonna
Tierney.
become a team.
Yeah.
hopefully they come
eventually.
together because
I know.
Yeah. At the end of the day, like, it's not like they all placed each other, like, it's not like they placed each other in the encampment, you know what I mean? It was the men of, or like the higher powers, you know what I mean, within their town. And so I think that they should realize more so that, like, or the importance of, like, just being together and just being in unity with one another.
Yeah, I think real quick, I think that also, like, speaking off of like what you just said, I think that because the women are so controlled like by the men in their town, I think that kind of like we were talking about earlier, like is brainwashing them so much that like when they're out on their own, like if there's kind of like a dominant female like Kirsten, like no other girl is gonna be able to like stand up for themselves or like rebel against that because their entire life they've just been like conforming to whatever the men have like tell them.
Yeah.
So they're very powerless in this society.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any last words? We can start wrapping it up.
That's
Is that
it.
it? I think that's
Thank
Okay,
you
we'll
guys
see
so
y'all
much.
later.